Also in our state capitol today, the city of Montgomery remembered the March on Washington. From Dexter Avenue Baptist Church to Alabama State University, residents gathered to celebrate the change our country has seen over the past 50 years. Kalisha Whitman joins us now with more on the ceremonies in the state capitol. Kalisha.
Mike, it's been a day of reflection. People remembered the servanthood and the sacrifice and were encouraged to remember what all happened that day 50 years ago.
Thousands came together to march, to move the movement.
So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring.
The site of the Washington Monument 50 years ago, the voice of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee.
People reverenced, reflected, and recalled one of the most pivotal points in the nation's history.
We can have reason to think about those who challenged us 50 years ago and more, who challenged this nation and this people truly to be the people that we are created for.
When we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city.
They did, symbolically, in Montgomery, at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, where the Reverend Dr. King pastored, and at Alabama State University.
Let freedom ring.
The message that's been heard around the world, the message people still hear today.
When all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
And I've been researching this speech, and I found that Dr. King drew references from a wide variety of sources, including the Bible, the U.S. Declaration of Independence, and Shakespeare. Now, the speech was watched by more than 200,000. It's one of the biggest marches for civil rights in history. Mike.
All right, Kalisha, thank you. Here's a brief history of Dr. Martin Luther King's famous speech in tonight's Fact Finder. Although it is almost always referred to as the I Have a Dream speech, that is not the original title. In fact, on the typed speech, those words weren't even typed. He just inserted that into his speech. One of the first drafts of the speech had the title, Normalcy, Never Again. The famous phrase King repeated towards the end of the speech was a way for him to punctuate his delivery. A draft of Normalcy, Never Again is kept at Morehouse College. We have much more on the commemoration of the March on Washington on our website. Just go to alabama13.com.